Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Life is an interaction, experience inside and lived outside. We all live outside, in the houses, on the roads, in the hospitals, with the people, with the problems, with the places. So, life is lived outside, but experienced inside. Therefore, if we want to have a complete understanding of life, we have to take into account. There is humming, reduce, brass, So, we have to take into account both what is outside happening and what is inside happening. And when a perfect balance is reached, then alone bliss is experienced. When balance is not reached, either we are too much outside, there is still echo and humming, reduce. So if there is no perfect balance between outside and inside, what happens is not bliss, then blisters. We all have these blisters in our life, because there is no perfect balance. This was the question which Arjuna had asked to Bhagavan Sri Krishna in the 5th chapter of Gita. When in the 4th chapter towards the end, Bhagavan told Arjuna, therefore, hey Arjuna, you should engage yourself into yoga action. But earlier he has praised knowledge. Nahi jnane na sadrisham pavitra miha vidyate. Are you all able to hear me? Backside, everybody is able to hear? Because I am also not able to hear myself. Mic cannot go inside my stomach. Now you can hear me? Okay, switch off the fan or you change your seat. There is no speed control over fan. Either you have air or you have sound. Done? Everybody is okay now? Shall I start? Good. So, nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitra miha vidyate, Bhagavan said in the 4th chapter, there is nothing more purifying than knowledge. So naturally, when knowledge is glorified, what Arjuna would have been told by the Lord, therefore you should practice knowledge. But the Lord didn't do like that. It is something like, if you buy our brand of biscuits, you will have no problems. Therefore, don't buy our biscuits. See how funny it is? In the same manner, knowledge was glorified, but when it came to Arjuna, he was told he should practice Karma Yoga. And therefore, he started the 5th chapter with a doubt. And his doubt was, whether we should pay attention outside or inside. That was his doubt. Bhagavan said, look here, don't be extremist. It is easier to be an extremist. Who are the extremists? Some like me who believe in eating. I eat 3-4 times a day comfortably. There are other people who observe fast up to death. So, some are dieting and I am also eating. Both are extreme. It is very easy, not big difficult. The real difficulty is when you have to maintain a perfect balance, then it is difficult. And in the 6th chapter, Bhagavan says, Yuktahar viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. We have to be perfect balance between what is happening outside and what is happening inside. Therefore, in our next 4-5 days, we will try to understand within and without. Whenever we are interacting in this world, first of all, we are interacting or acting or reacting. 3 things. Interact we must if we are alive. If we are dead, then there is no problem for us, problem for others. Suppose I die now. Right now I die. You will have a problem how to dispose of this fellow. Should we conduct the PM post-mortem or should we just dispose him like that? Now I will be relaxed. Come on, you suffer. So, whether we are interacting as reaction or we are interacting as action. See, when we are interacting as action, we are taking care of within. When we are interacting as reaction, we are focusing without. Understand this. For example, we are all experts and we have our computers set default. My laptop has a default setting. When you switch it on, it will say Om Sri Ganeshaya Namaha. So once somebody was there, I switch on, it started Om Sri Ganeshaya. Swamiji, how come your computer knows this thing? I said, he is realized, therefore he knows. So, we have the default settings. In the same manner, in life also we have default settings. Which are our default settings? If I am a husband, the cause of my misery is my wife. Default. If I am a father, the cause of my misery is my children. If I am a doctor, the cause of my misery is another doctor. Not patient. See? And thus we are expert in blaming others for the miseries of our life. So when this happens, we are reacting. And in that reaction what we want? We want others to change. And others cannot be changed. A very simple rule. Once in Bangalore, I got down from the aeroplane and I was waiting for my luggage. So, one person came, young man, must be an IT person. He came and said, Swamiji, I am your fan. I said, okay, keep on moving. What can I do? You are the fan. And I am always surprised and have pity on you. I said, very good, at least somebody has pity on me. He said, do you know why? I said, why? You have been talking throughout the world for so many years, but the people don't change. So your all efforts are going waste. That is why I am feeling pity for you. I said, no, it's not like that. On the contrary, I don't want anybody to change. So I am successful. Like a doctor never wants the patient to be cured. A doctor maintains the patient. He doesn't cure the patient. If the patient is cured, the doctor becomes a patient. In the same manner, we, the Babaji, we don't want the people to become wise. If they become wise, we will become otherwise, So it is good. If they are not changing, that is what we want. Because our diet is your ignorance. If you all become wise, I will go very thin. No, you are just telling what really, Swamiji. Isn't it you must be feeling bad. You have been talking so many years and nobody changes. I said, look here, Maharaj, we have a choice. When you interact in the world, where is your attention? Attention is outside or attention is inside? This is exactly what has happened to Arjun on the battlefield. When he saw the whole situation, his attention was confused. And therefore he started seeing the things which are obvious but which he thought they are abnormal. And one of his arguments in the first chapter was, see, in this battle so many people will be killed, there will be bloodshed and there will be chaos. Naturally, on the battlefield, there won't be deliveries. It is not a maternity home. On the battlefield, there will be killing. What is great about it? But then he started taking the situation in a wrong manner. Therefore, what Bhagavan says, look here, Arjun, samatvam yoga uchyate. Whatever is happening outside, if your inside within equanimity is maintained, you have attained perfection in your life. Therefore, that which disturbs the within is the reaction, and that which does not disturb the within is an action. This is the rule. In the 10th chapter of Panchadashi, the topic is called as the lamp of the theatre, Natakadi. So, in that, I think this is okay. Let that Amma go and sit somewhere backside, sit near that thing, No, you go backside there, near that speaker. Go and sit there. Sit next to the speaker. That's good. Now, even if you don't want, you cannot avoid. So, in that Natakdi Prakaran, a beautiful thought is brought out. And the thought is to be understood in two ways. When you take this world as an illusion, it will not disturb you. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahmaivana Paraha, first thought. Like when we see the mirage, has anybody ever conducted any research on harvesting the mirage water to solve the water problems in Rajasthan? No. Because mirage water appear but it is not. So what is the meaning of an illusion? Illusion is that where things appear but they are not. In the same manner, when you look at this world with this eye of wisdom, external things will not disturb you. And for that what is required is cool mind and little bit of understanding. Let's take for example, Once one of the friends, he is an eye doctor. So we are belonging to the same profession. He is also eye doctor, I am also eye doctor. But our spellings are different. His spelling has got E-Y-E and my eye doctor's eye spelling is iPod, iChat, iMail, then ICICI. See, there is no end to this I. So my patient is I, his patient is E-Y-E. One day when we are going somewhere, after my talk, he was driving me back. He said, Swamiji, about one thing I am not able to accept it. What is that? You say this world is an imagination. He was driving and looking at me. Do you think this driving is imagination? Do you think this traffic is coming in front and I am not colliding is the imagination? I said, now get aside. So we pulled us on the shoulder. Then I asked him, I said, look here my friend, by the way you are an eye doctor. Yes, yes. Now tell me how the perception takes place of the images. So the object outside forms an image on the retina. It is comprehended by the mind and that image in the mind is bathing in the light of consciousness. Then alone the knowledge about the image takes place, not the original object. See, like we are all sitting here, you are seeing me, I imagine. Suppose there is pitch darkness. I will be here, your eyes are functional, yet you will not be able to see me. What is the reason? Because image is not forming on your retina. So what you are seeing is not me, only the image. See? And therefore, if our mind is disturbed, image cannot be perfect. So what we are actually experiencing, what is outside, is actually experienced as an image inside. This is applicable to every experience. Whether it is the colors and forms through the eyes, whether it is the sounds through the ear, whether it is the smell through the nose, all our experiences within are the experiences gathered as reflections on the mirror of mind. See, you must have experienced this. Sometimes you take something to read, nothing goes in. You may read the same paragraph 10 times, nothing goes in. Then what you do? You drop it. I don't know what happened today. I think it is very difficult. About this I will tell you one thing. One of my ammas, she is an editor of my books from Pune. So she takes care of all the, efforts, doing the DTP, checking the spelling, this, that and everything. And wherever there is difficulty, she will come with the whole manuscript, page number so and so, this is the difficulty. So on one page, she said, Swamiji, this whole paragraph is meaningless. Nothing is coming out of this paragraph. I said, okay, maybe something is wrong, let me read it. I said, I will read loudly, you listen. Let us see if it is meaningless or meaningful. I read the paragraph. Swamiji, this is full of meaning. I said, then what do I do? Tell me, should we delete it? No, but why did I saw when I read it that it is meaningless? But now the same paragraph, it has become full of meaning. I said, Mama, you must have been tired. And when you are tired, your mind is not able to have the perfect image of what you comprehend. See? Therefore, whenever we are living our life, we have to have a perfect balance without and within. If this is understood, then we will be able to focus attention on this principle. Are we reacting in this world or we are acting in this world? So what is an acting? Acting is like the example I gave about the mirage water. So in case of mirage water perception, we see that we feel it is exactly real and yet we know it is not. In the same manner, all the things that happen in our life, they appear to be 100% real, but they are not. See, therefore our Vedanta gives the most important approach to life. Life is not only the waking experience. Life includes waking, dream, deep sleep, samadhi, and all the junctions in between the various experiences. Suppose to serve somebody is to simply keep on feeding that fellow day and night. That is not service. Service means what? We take into account everything. His food, his shelter, his clothes, his medicine, his comfort, everything. Then we say the life is good. In the same manner, our life can be fully evaluated if we take into account all the experiences that are experienced by us. See? Normally, whenever we say that my life is miserable, means what? One particular event in the waking state has become a great issue, and therefore everything is useless, only this thing is important. And this is where we are unable to understand. Now take again this principle through Gita. Fighting a war or a battle was like batting for Tendulkar, for Arjuna. Fighting a war or a battle was his profession. It was not a new thing for him. And he has been doing that for years together, not once. Then, when he came on the deciding war, then the problem came before him. How can I kill the grandfather and the guru? Now be very attentive. Externally, what was happening? He was on the battlefield, and on the battlefield there is only one relationship, that you and your enemy, that's it. There is no third relationship. But instead of interacting in the given situation, he started reacting. And what was the reaction? I am seeing my grandfather, I am seeing my guru, so killing my grandfather and my guru is a sin. If it is your grandfather and your guru, I can kill. So where is the problem? Problem is neither in killing, nor is the grandfather and the guru. The problem is my grandfather and my guru. Now be very attentive. Extension of the within, without, is called as the disease of mamata or attachment. When I is extended and gets caught up in something finite, the external problems start appearing, which are not there. See? It's very important. There was a man, he was told by some miscreant that, see, I received a phone that your son has met with an accident. Naturally, this father got extremely disturbed, because my son got met with an accident, disturbed. And when he inquired and found out, nothing has happened. So all the disturbance, miseries disappeared. Another example. Something bad has happened to somebody, but I don't know. I am eating my food, enjoying my dinner. So although something has happened, but it is not entering in my mind, therefore it doesn't disturb. See? Therefore, there is a relationship between the outside and inside. How we relate ourselves with the outside determines what is the quality of life we have. Are we relating ourselves with the outside, with the disease of attachment, mamata, or we are relating ourselves outside with the understanding of wisdom? See? How important. Like, earlier, one of that American politician came to India. He was interviewed on Zee TV. I just happened to see that interview. And their question asked was, is the life of Americans more expensive than the life of other people? See, when one American soldier dies, it is terrible. It is a question of a case of human rights violation. But when we go and bombard the whole world for no reason, then it is security concern. See, it remains the same thing. Therefore, friends, this whole world is based on only this one issue. How do I extend myself beyond me? If I extend myself beyond me, in all encompassing love and including everything and being, is called as realization. But when I include only some as mine and some as not mine, samsara begins. See? This is what happens in the families. Mother as a mother is best. There is no doubt about it. Nobody will have any argument. Next step. Mother as a mother-in-law of a son-in-law is better than the best. There is no doubt about this also. Next. Mother as the mother-in-law of the daughter-in-law. Bhadrakali, Mahakali, Kapali, Karali. Is a terrible one. Now see the difference. Therefore, friends, whenever this I is extended to a finite, limited one, the samsara happens. When the I is extended to include everything and being, and nothing is excluded, then realization has taken place. See? In Ishavasya, Yasmin Sarvani Bhutani Atmannevan Pashyati Sarvabhutasthamatmanam Natato Vijugupsate. When we are able to include everything in us and are able to recognize we reflected in everyone, there cannot be gruna, there cannot be vijugupsa, there cannot be hatred for anybody. See? Therefore, friends, it is a very beautiful riddle of life. We have to interact with the outer world. Then only internal experiences is possible. The quality of our interaction with the outer world is reaction or action. If it is reaction, we will be creating dents and wounds inside our mind. And if it is only an action, it will be a fun, it will be a joy. So we are in first the reaction aspect. So whenever we react in the world, we react with biasness and create biasness. See? Now let us go the other way around. When we don't react, but we simply act. Now see, what is the simple acting? Simple acting is that Natakdeep I was referring to. So when an actor comes on the stage, he is called an actor. He is not called as a reactor. So when he is on the stage, what he is doing? It appears as if everything is happening. But in fact, nothing is happening. So when he says, Ani, darling, I love you, he never means that. Therefore, there is no load of love. Therefore, he doesn't fall in love. Normally, people fall in love. One should rise in love, but they fall in love. Why? They react. See? On the contrary, when we start only acting in this world, you will see your within is kept intact. See? And how do we act? Whatever is told by the director to that actor, that alone he speaks. And how he speaks, although he doesn't mean, but yet he pretends as if he means. In the same manner, we all have to play our role in life. Life is a big stage. And on this stage, we are all puppets. We are all the actors. The moment we take this view of life, you will see life is most beautiful. There is nothing worth becoming serious. There is nothing worth getting disturbed in this world. The other day somebody was asking me after my talk, Swamiji, you said we should not get disturbed. The most important thing in life is our peace of mind. If you have a balance, on one side of the balance span you keep the whole world, and other side you keep your peace of mind. Which is more valuable for us? Our peace of mind is more valuable. But is it not selfishness? See? I say yes, it is selfishness. But is spirituality means selfishness? I said yes, it means selfishness. No, it cannot be like that. I say okay, then suffer. No, but this terrorism is so much terribly, disturbing the whole world. It's what terrorism you are talking about. On the contrary, what our terrorist bandhus are doing is very good. At least they kill themselves, so there is no next possibility of again terror by the same person. Isn't it? But those terrorists who are sitting and occupying the respected chair under the disguise of the representatives of the nation, when they are doing terror, they are repeating it again and again. So these suicidal terrorists are superior than the living terrorists, is it not? And then I told him, look here, if you calculate the total data, how many people were killed because of terrorism till date? And how many people were killed by one Hitler? They are not even comparable. And this has always happened. In this world, there is nothing new. There is nothing worth getting disturbed. This has always been like that. Therefore, when we are living in this world, we have to live with this wisdom intact. Then how do we do? Whatever is our job, our position, our relation, do your job sincerely in such a manner that you are not left with regret or arrogance as a load on your mind. See? The net result will be, you will be always peaceful within and perfect without. In Taittiriya Upanishad, one thought comes. In the old age, most of the people have these two problems. Problem number one, Kimahagam sadhana karavam. When I was young, why I did not go to satsang, why I did not do like many people tell us. I remember about 30 years before, Swamiji, had you come in our life, maybe about 50 years before, I would have been a totally changed person. So I used to tell them, 50 years before, my parents were not decided. Mahatmas are always there. Are we available to them? But now in the old age, there is nothing except regret. Or another thing, many of us have done something so bad in our life when we were young. Then in the old age, the load of guilt is crushing us. Now we regret. Swamiji, one person came the other day and asked, Swamiji, please help me. I said, I help, not monetarily. If you are asking money, I am sorry. Because I have got my principles. I only receive money, I don't give. So he said, no, Swamiji, money is not a criteria. Then the thing is, I have done so many bad things. Now I am regretting. I am having this fear. Am I going to go to hell? Please help me. And started crying. I gave him tissue paper. I said, finish. Destroy as many tissue papers as you can. And then I told him, look here, you are not going to go to hell. Really? Because I came to you? I said, yes. I am an agent of the heavens. So you will not go to hell. But I have done so many sins. I said, never mind. You will not go. How come? I said, where are you now? A person who is carrying the load of guilt, frustrated, and it is better to commit suicide. I think I have done the worst thing. Oh God, please forgive me. This kind of inner quality is a disgusting existence. And therefore we are not able to enjoy any moment of our life. Why? Because we are carrying this load on our mind, that of the guilt. Therefore, friends, the most scientific way of living is interact outside in such a manner that do not allow any dent to happen inside. So what is the conclusion of discussion so far? We all have to live in this world, and life is interaction of the inside with the outside. See? This is life. And in that interaction, we give so much importance to the outside that we neglect the inside. Now don't answer my question loudly. Answer it to yourself in your mind. Don't tell me or anybody. How many of us have in our life lived and prayed that, oh Lord, make my mind so pure so that you can manifest through my mind. Did we ever pray like this? Our prayers are, oh Lord, take the list. And do this thing, do this thing, do this thing, do this thing, do this thing. And do properly, okay? Don't make mistakes. So the world becomes the destination, the goal, and the Lord becomes the means. We don't want even inside to be improved or changed. It is something like this. I am very fond of clean, iron clothes. So, when you are fond of good clothes, neatly kept and all that, will you like to go and sit anywhere? Because you care for your clothes, you won't go and sit anywhere. In the same manner, those who are concerned and careful about their inner quality, they will interact in this world in such a manner that inner purity and poise is not destroyed. Very important. And whenever we are not taking conscious care to see what is happening inside, we start living our life by default. And when we just start living life by default, we are not even aware of our own behavior. See? There is one friend of mine. He is angry by default. He can shout at his children or give one without his knowledge. So one day, a South Indian, this happened in, I think, Delhi. I went to his house. His wife used to prepare very nice dosha and vada and everything. Therefore, I used to go. So when I went, his daughter came, maybe about 6, 7 years or 8 years, very sweet one. And she used to love me a lot. She said, Swamiji, I will eat in your plate, okay? I said, okay, eat. So she took one vadai and took chutney and she was going to eat. And this Hitler saw. Hitler means who hits without any reason. Hitler. He became angry. You are eating in Swamiji's plate? I can't. I said, my God, such a sweet child and he can give just like that. And then she went inside, left the vada. And I had no courage to talk to him. I said, second week, come on me. And like in any Hindi movie, the phone rang. So, he was attending. He said, Swamiji, excuse me, I have to go for about half an hour. And if you don't mind, it is urgent. I said, you did not come back. Go. So let me enjoy my breakfast with a small child. After he went, then I went to the child and said, hey, your dad loves you so much, He always talks about you. She was such a sweet girl. Swamiji, don't try to butter me. I said, no, really, don't try to tell me anything. I'll tell you. I have already written off my father. See the word, already written off him. And I give 100% discount to whatever he does. The modern language. I said, you don't get hurt? No, he doesn't know what he is doing. He is, when he becomes angry, we all know in our house, he is not aware that he is angry. He feels that he is in normal condition. See? Another example I will give you. Not living in awareness means what? There is one boy in Bombay, a North Indian boy. He was in class 10th or 11th, huge. Like a sumo, huge one. No control over eating. And such a huge structure he has become. So school he managed because at home he used to come and eat lot. When he went to college, everybody started teasing him. Hey, round figure has come. Hey, the football has come. And they used to make fun of him. And he started breaking down. So he says, Swamiji, why everybody is telling? I said, because you are too thin, you should put on more weight. And he never has appreciated that he is fat. Be very attentive. A person who has never lived as a thin person, but right from childhood lived as a sumo, he can never imagine that there is other quality of body also. He can never imagine that he is fat. In the same manner, when we don't lead our life in awareness, we start reacting in this world without any knowledge. Therefore, friends, when we are living, it is extremely necessary that, is coming, that when we are interacting in the outer world, as a reaction, our inside is destroyed. When we interact with the outer world as an action, our inside is maintained. This is the fundamental rule. If this rule is understood, this is exactly what is achieved through all the spiritual practices indicated in our scriptures. Which are the spiritual practices indicated in our scriptures? Basically, there are 4 of them. The first is the karma yoga. The second is the path of yoga, Ashtanga yoga. The third is the path of devotion. And fourth is the path of knowledge. Depending upon the type of psyche we have, we will be predominantly of that time. Although we will have to practice all the four in our life. So when we are leading our life, so today what we have concluded, we interact outside, but attention is what is happening inside. This is the rule. Now this rule is established in the various paths which are indicated in our scriptures. Now today we will try to take one of them to see exactly what is meant. The path of karma tells us, these days throughout the Western world you go, these 2-3 words are, big words. One is karma, big K-A-R-M-A, karma. Hotels are karma hotels, as if karma is something good. Then the second is yoga. Yoga means acrobatics. Bhagavad Gita tells yoga in a different manner, but only twisting the body and crooked mind is considered as yoga. Then the third is the path of devotion, wherein making noise for the others is understood as devotion. And the fourth is path of knowledge, where erudition and scholarship exhibition is the way of studying. So let us try to understand one by one what is said, what is understood, and what should be understood. Three things. When these three things will be taken care of, we will see, we will start living in awareness. When we start living in awareness, external world will be interacted by the inner being without destroying the equanimity in life. Therefore, we have to live in awareness, not a mechanical life. Please understand this is an important point. Whenever our life is mechanically lived, our life is a boredom. See? The same thing mechanically, you must have seen. I'll give an example. I went to Dhanbad in Bihar. There are many coal mines. And when I went to somebody's house, they told me, Swamiji, all the laborers here working in the coal mines, they drink a lot. More than 50-60% of their salary goes only in drinking. So we request you that we will organize and you please tell them stop drinking. I said, you organize, and I tell you, I will start drinking along with them. I won't tell them stop drinking. He said, why? I said, look here, you look at their life. 8 hours, they are leading the life of worse than an animal. And when they come out, do you think that they have anything in their life as wisdom? They just want to destroy their mind, and in that intoxication, enjoy, that is all. This philosophy I learned from one rickshawala in Delhi. I was going in auto rickshaw and stopped somewhere. I said, hey, have you seen that movie? So when he looked at me, Swamiji is asking about a movie. He said, of course, mine is a rule. What is the rule? Any new movie, first show, first ticket is mine. He was so proud of it. Any new movie comes, first show, first ticket, I always buy. Apna shauk hai, it's my way. So I said, but when you spend so much of money, don't you feel that it is wastage? He looked at me. He said, hey Mahatma Ji, what do you understand? He started teaching me. And he was right. He said, our life is a disgusting existence. The whole day we work like bullocks. At home when we come, there is no proper place even to sit. Somehow we are surviving. So when I go and buy a ticket and sit in a chair, that is the time I am the king. So when somebody is driving a motorcycle or enjoying, I imagine I am in the place of the hero and the heroine is my dear. And this is how I enjoy for 2-3 hours. That is the only time of enjoyment for me. After I come home, again the same wretched wife. I used to. See? Whenever life becomes mechanical, you lose the charm in life. Therefore, to remove this mechanical existence, we have to start living in awareness. So if we have to live in awareness, then what do we have to do? First, we must know the purpose of whatever we are following in life. Purposeless activity is being a vagabond. We have to be very clear. One example I'll give you. Once I was coming from Australia, landed in Bombay, morning time, about 3 o'clock, and my friend came to pick me up. And that next night, I had a flight to go to London. So only for overnight, as if changeover, I came to Bombay. So I came and I went to my home and slept. Next day morning, again getting ready to go. So my friend asked me, Swamiji, you have no ashram, you have no disciples, you don't have any projects, you don't run schools, colleges, you have no plans of doing any social service. Why do you run so much? From here to there, there to there, there to there. What is the need? I said, there is a big need. Please understand, when we do anything in this world, always remember, world does not require us or our performance. World doesn't require. It is we who are in need. Like here I have come to talk to you. I am 100% sure none of you miss me or you want me. It is me who wants to talk. See? If you are not here, will I talk to the tubelights? No. And once I have this attitude that it is my need that I am coming and talking to you, what will be the net result? Net result will be, I will have respect and reverence for you. Be very attentive. Whenever you deal with anybody with respect and reverence, your mind becomes purer and purer. See? How important it is. See, we go to the temple, stand before the Lord. Two types of people. Those who go as a devotee, what happens to them? And those who go with a camera to take out the picture, what happens to them? Those who are looking at the Lord as an altar of reverence and respect, for them it is a great experience. And those who go there only take a photograph so that I can show when I go back. I went to India, I saw so many temples, these are the photographs. So it was only objective understanding, not a reverential approach. Therefore, whenever we are interacting in this world, if the purpose is clear, like this example I gave you, purpose is my need. If I will not talk on this thing, I will start talking on the world, how the world is bad and I am good. See? Therefore, friends, this karma, Ashtanga Yoga, devotion and knowledge, what exactly is achieved? That should be the understanding with which we can grow spiritually. Now first we will take today karma. See, this was the topic taken by Bhagavan Sri Krishna when Arjuna started interacting in a wrong manner. His interaction was more of a reaction rather than an action. And whenever we react, we are argumentative. See? When you act, you don't argue, you are not argumentative. So he started arguing with the Lord. And how he started? First, he has taken a decision. Etanna antumichami dhatopi madhusudana. I do not want to kill these people on the battlefield. He has taken a decision. Then he started thinking, be very attentive. All these lawyers, when we engage a lawyer, what do? We tell him the truth. That, look here, I have already killed that lady. But I want to engage you so that I am saved. Now, will my lawyer try to tell the judge, see, I am telling you something confidential. When this person came to hire me, that time he said this thing, and I have got a video recording, and he told, yes, I killed that lady, but I am hiring you so that I can be relieved. Now what will be the lawyer do? He will first take a decision. My client is innocent. He has taken a decision. He has not killed anybody. Thereafter he will start arguing in the court. See, be very attentive. Arguments are born whenever we react. And that is how our life becomes miserable. In the houses between husband and wife, wherever there is argument, they are reacting with each other. When there is no argument, they are only acting. And when you are acting, there is no misery in life. There was a neighbor, and they used to always laugh. So the other people came, hey, how come? In your house we are always hearing laughter. What is the secret? Secret is, whenever she becomes angry, she throws, the utensils and things at me. Then, when I get hit, she laughs. And when I miss it, then I laugh. And in our house, always laughter is going on, one way or the other. How life becomes simple. Therefore, let us understand what exactly this karma means. Now these points you all know, but we have to refresh them. The first step the world is created is a catch of cause and effect. Bhagavan Shankaracharya writes, Vishwam pashyati karya karanataya swaswami sambandhataha शिष्याचार्यतया तथैव पितृ पुत्राद्यात्मना भेदतः स्वप्ने जागृतिवाय एष पुरुषः माया परिभ्रामितः तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये. विश्वम पश्यति कार्य कारणतया. Whenever you are caught up in the cause and effect, the world is created. See? And we are all expert in getting caught up in the cause and effect. So we go to the Mahatmas. Mahatmaji, I don't know, of all the people, why I am persecuted? One lady asked me this question in Bombay. She is the daughter, she is also very old, must be 60 or 55 like that. She asked this question. She is the daughter of one very important governor of India, some places. Name I won't tell you. So, she said, Swamiji, I have got a question. I said, okay, what is your question? The question is, first of all, let me tell you, I am the daughter of so-and-so, and by God's grace, everything is fine. So, introduction was given. I said, okay. Now question. Swamiji, in this world, bad people are enjoying life. They have got everything. Good people never have anything. What is the reason? Cause and effect. What is the reason? Then I asked, I said, Amma, just now you told you have got everything. He said, no problem. So you are bad. No, 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 I don't mean that. No, no, no. See. I said, look here, those who are good people, they never complain. Not a single good man has ever said this statement, that good people suffer and bad people enjoy. A good person will never say this. He who says this, he is a social worker, he is not a good person. See? Therefore, we get caught up only in this cause and effect, cause and effect. I don't know why I have to get such a wife. I am so fed up. When you go to the Mahatma, what will he say? So he has to say something so that your life is allowed to continue. So Mahatma will say, look here beta, see, this is the karma from the last life. So, cause and effect. You must have tortured this jiva in the last life. Therefore, in this life, she has come to take the revenge. This is how all the children are the ones whose debts the parents have not paid in the last life. Therefore, in this life they come and take away each and every pie that you are. This is how the parents also get the children married. One day, one boy asked me, Swamiji, why our parents are after us to get married? I said, they want to take revenge. How come? We as children have really tortured them. But now what can you do when your own tongue is bitten by your own teeth? With whom will go and complain? You can't do anything. So, there is one technique discovered by the parents. Okay, torture us, we'll go through. When you become grown up, we'll get you married. And when your children will torture you, that time we will promote the torture by spoiling the grandchildren. And this is how, this is the only reason, there is no other reason. And in this manner we feel, oh, cause and effect is established. See. Now the second thing. When I say that whatever good or bad I have in this life is because of my karma from the last life, therefore what it will mean? Now you behave properly with your wife. If you don't behave properly in this life, she is already practicing Karwa Chauth. She will take a revenge in the next life also for 7 lives. Then what do? Now behave properly with your wife. Because this karma will create next life problem. Now see what is the net result. Net result is, you are responsible for whatever good or bad you have in the present life. Be very attentive. When we have accepted this in principle, that whatever is happening in my life, in the present life, I am solely responsible for that, I will stop blaming the world. See? And when I stop blaming the world, then only I am focusing attention on myself. And then only I will not become selfish, but improve myself. Now this is another important thing, most important thing. One day I was in England and one lady was asking me this question. Swamiji, I am unable to understand your theory of karma. I said, forget, don't accept it, you live your life. No, you people say that there should not be attachment. I said, yes. See, but in our Western world there is no attachment. We don't care for the children. The children are thrown out by the time they are teenagers, so they are not attached. And we are so detached that we change our husbands also, wives also. Complete detachment. So have we attained perfection? So I said, well, this is a difficult question. I don't know how to answer. Then another lady, she was there, a European, she said, Swamiji, can I answer your question? I said, very good, start. Let you hear from the horse's mouth. Then she said, Swamiji, Here there is nothing like detachment, is nothing like sacrifice. It is utter selfishness. Be very attentive. When we lead our life only for I and myself, nobody else, there is no sacrifice. And when you start living as a person of a family, then you slowly start expanding I and my wife, I and my parents, I and my in-laws, I and my children. Now what is happening? This I is getting slowly and slowly diluted. And then when we start living for others, we have to accept the difficulties cheerfully and happily. Therefore, this is the training ground where we learn to expand. That is the purpose. So, this is how one way of looking at this cause and effect, the theory of karma. But what exactly is meant is different. It is not this. This is just a byproduct of the theory of karma. Like, we keep the cow for getting milk. You also get cow dung cakes. So that is the byproduct. Nobody keeps cows for the cow dung cakes, except in Haryana. So, now be attentive. What exactly is meant? I lived in the last life without the present body, and I did something good or bad. Now in this life I am living and doing something good or bad. As a result of my own karma, in the next life I will have to suffer or enjoy. Yes. So I am a soul coming out of this body, going to another body and suffering. This is what is the wrong understanding. See? Then we start imagining, the last life I had this thing, this life I am, next life I am. This is not the meaning of the theory of karma. What is meant is different. What is meant is, we existed in other body, independent of this body. Therefore, the embodied one is different from the body. First step. Second thing. We existed earlier, we exist now, we continue to exist afterwards. Therefore, we are a continuous, unbroken existence which has neither suffered a birth nor suffered a death. See? Therefore, the theory of karma should free us from the fear of death. If this has happened, then we are interacting with the world. If this is not happening, we are reacting. See? And then how do we react? This fellow, see, like the other day I was in Delhi, and those days, the dividers in the road, they used to have some plantation. New saplings were planted, and all the emissions from the cars will go on them, and poor fellows will suffer, those plants. So one lady was asking me, Swamiji, I feel so bad. What these plants must have done the sin in the last life, that they are suffering in this life. All the emission goes on them. I said, I'll tell you. These are all the politicians of Delhi who never wanted to leave Delhi. Therefore, they got a permanent place in Delhi. But they have really tortured the whole nation. And therefore, now all the emissions are going on them. Now see what is happening? Cause and effect established. But this is not the purpose. The purpose is, we are a continuous, unbroken existence. If this is happening, then we are interacting with the world. Take an example. Wherever I go, before I go, my day of departure is decided. One day in one place, somebody came with me from other country. And I say, okay, you come, I'll show you real India, not the one which is in ashrams and hotels. You come with me. So that lady came, and we are going to so many places and all that. She said, Swamiji, one thing I noticed, how come people are so happy to receive you? And they are so happy, what is the reason? Tell me the secret. I said, the secret is, I count down. Then I don't understand, countdown is what? I said, for example, now I am staying with Sangaraj. He is now happy. As the days will pass, he will become more and more happy. So, 7 days Swamiji is going to stay happy. 6 days Swamiji is going to stay happy. 5 days, 4 days, 3 days, 2 days. Tomorrow Swamiji is going. Ha, very happy. Because he is going. See friends, in the same manner, you live in this world with a countdown. Before somebody has to tell us, Maharaj, Padaro, go. How important it is. So live in this world with this clear understanding. We are not here for all the time. See? Therefore, many houses when I go, some houses like his is so comfortable, very clean, neat and beautiful. And I know it may be very good, yet I have to go after 5-6 days. Similarly, when I go to some other places, very dirty and wretched, there also I know. Anyway, 5-6 days I have to go. What is the next result? I stop reacting. Then what do? I speak lies. I am very expert in speaking lies. Like many houses we go, they say, Swamiji, how is the food? So I always tell before taking the food is very good. Otherwise you have to speak the lies, This is how live in this world lightly and don't get lost in cause and effect. But unfortunately, this dharma, this last life, present life, next life, Papa, Punya, going to hell, going to heaven, this is not the purpose of the theory of karma. See friend, whole your attitude will change in life. But not understanding this, we are constantly caught up only in the sin and merit. I always remember I was somewhere in US. I gave my passport and application for going to Canada. So Canadian embassy. And they say, now you gave, you go back. Come after 3 hours. I said, I have nowhere to go, I'll sit here. We are not allowing you. Okay, go. Take the token and go. Now, jaun to jaun kahan? I have no place to go. No money in the pocket. So I was doing the window shopping in a mall, just moving here, and 3 hours I had to spend. So when I was there, one person came, one pastor or padri or somebody, and he asked me this question. Are you Hindu? I said, no objection please. No. Do you believe in Jesus? I said, yes. Then you must be a Christian? I said, yes. But you said you are a Hindu? I said, yes. How come? I said, latest technology, 2 in 1. When I told him like this, he became angry. You will go to hell if you talk like this. I said, we will meet there and continue discussion. Then he said, no, you will go to hell. I said, okay, I will go to hell. What about you? I am going to go to heaven. I said, thank God you told me. If you are going to go to heaven, I will never like to come there. Better to be in the hell. Because here you are hitting my head. There also you will be there. I don't want to go. Friends, this fear created out of this childish thought is not the purpose of the spiritual life. Those who condemn somebody to go to hell and those who give a false promise to go to heaven, both of them are 100% ignorant. Nobody goes to hell or heaven. See? The purpose of this is only this understanding, that don't get caught up in cause and effect. See what happens. Whenever I give a cause, I am happy here because of my host. What will happen? I will be attached to him, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time he is not able to entertain me. Immediately he becomes bad. Is it not samsara? Therefore, the more we become aware of this phenomena, let us not fix any cause or effect. Then why this is like that? This is like that. See? We will be getting out of this clutch called as cause and effect. And you know how funny it is? We only decide the cause and we only decide the effect. One example I'll give you. There was one lady and she came. Recently it happened somewhere. Swamiji, I want to confess. I said, I don't accept any confession. No, but I want to. I said, you may confess, I am going to sleep, okay? No, please don't. Yes. You know, I was thinking that you don't like me. I said, you are free, you are a citizen of India. In India, democracy is supreme even for the buffaloes on the road. You can think whatever you like, no problem. No, but you know, why I was thinking like that, you don't love me? I said, this is my question, not your question. No, I thought, you know, that you don't even talk to me and all that. Therefore I thought. I said, anyway, you continue thinking. Then now I understood that you really love me. I said, very good, continue. Now see, both the things. You don't love me and you love me is where? It is in the mind of the things, are not in the outer world. In the same manner, cause, we only imagine. I am miserable because of this, I am miserable because of that. No. We are miserable because we are self-sufficient in foolishness. Those who are miserable, they are basically fools. Therefore, friends, dharma or the law of karma is not meant for sending us to hell or heaven. Is not meant for proving the last life, this life, next life. This punarjanma is not the purpose. See? So, these are the following paths where this is wrongly understood and implemented. First, the path of karma or the dharma, where they talk of hell, heaven, earlier life, present life, future life. Second, path of yoga. They talk about going to heaven, kaivalya, by the process of yoga. Another mistake. Similarly, those who are practicing the upasana, you do the upasana of such and such God, you will go to their abode. This is not the purpose. I went to Kailash, and there, this upasana fellow, one fellow was crying, Swamiji, please bless me. I said, okay, you are blessed, now let me go. And while going, I did a mistake. I asked, what's your name? He says, Swamiji, my name is Vaikuntha Das. And I started laughing. So my friend was laughing. I said, the poor fellow, even God is confused. If the Vaikuntha Das dies in Kailash, where will he go? See? He cannot go to Kailash because the name is Vaikuntha Das. He cannot go to Vaikuntha because he died in Kailash. See? Don't get lost in these kinds of gimmicks. Hold on to the understanding. Then only in and out is perfectly leveled. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.